to provide an increase to Basil at this time, which he's at $2,100 a month.
Okay, do that, exactly.
So then we,
We have to be with it.
That'll take all of it. He's probably making $15,000.
And 30% on each employee, it doesn't make any sense, they're great, we need them to be accountable, the board can do this.
yeah. So I want to explain too, right? So we've had some associations that have their own employees, right? Where they do their payroll through their own employees or whatnot. So there's been times also that if you want an employee that wants insurance, right? It's very simple to say, go ahead and we'll reimburse you for whatever that cost is. And the association can reimburse him whatever his insurance cost is, right? I mean, like if he gives us the bill, or we can, incorporate it in what we're paying him. So that's something that can be looked at.
If you pay himself dirt cheap.
It's like $18 a month. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They need to put together something. Yes, fine. We agree.
Both employees. Basil.
Right now, we were just talking about.
Basil.
Just for him. I mean, clear.
Okay, so let's get back to the budget. I understand what you're saying.
Nicole,
Oh, hold on.
We take your point, just to answer you, so we have gotten an estimate to get all that stuff removed, because there are residents here who would like additional storage, and I think those spaces could be used for that, so we are working on that, so just. Yeah, all the other residents.
I think that's gonna be it.
It's the following for one person. That's what's happening with the one person. Yeah, it is, but I didn't think that was, and I have to look at the docs.
Well,
but I
that's
didn't think
nobody
it
has.
was-
Well, again, that's like another business decision, because right now, even if it is a common area, you're not getting the benefit of it. So at the very least, let's make sure it's available so you can get the benefit of it.
Right, but not to one person.
Well, that will be a business decision as you go on. We'll figure that out, so.
Yeah,
Tell me.
that's not a business decision.
Well, let's not get lost in the.
All right, so let's get back to the budget, because now we're gonna be here till 12 o'clock at night.
Nicole,
Yes.
this is a quick question. Can the management contract be renegotiated?
Hold on, two questions at the same time. Hold on. We do not do part-time on-site management because we hire employees at 40 hours a week. So we would not have anywhere else to put a manager part-time for them to complete their 40 hours.
Contract, so expenses.
In what sense? What portion of the contract?
I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you want to negotiate, no, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying, right? So no. So we don't do portfolio management,
Oh, okay.
right? So that's what's considered, so what you're talking is portfolio management, where you have a manager that's not necessarily on site, but manages somewhere between 5 and 10 different properties, and they go as needed to the property. That is not the business that Castle Group is in.
6, 7,
120, right?
So that is a board decision, right? But no. So we do not offer part-time managers or portfolio management.
Okay.
The board
Yeah.
did, because we had a 2-month period where we had absolutely nobody in the office, And I mean, it was really a difficult time. And so when we were interviewing, we interviewed many management companies and considered many different possibilities from suit to not, and we decided that the right decision, whether it needs to be revisited down the road is another question, and we can consider that. But at the time, I think we made exactly the right decision. We needed a full-time person.
Oh my God.
Very difficult.
You answered my question, thank you. You do not do portfolio, you do only
Yeah.
40 hours a
So
week.
anyway, that's just as a means of background. I know we want to keep something said. Right.
Well, just for the manager, so total for all 3 employees, it comes out to 180,320.
And that's, okay.
Yes,
Before-
yes. That is their current cost. So if there's any increases on that, that would be to the discretion of the board after our conversation with the employees.
If the suppliers to not do inflation ready zero.
I think we should, some kind of thing.
So, I mean, I don't know if the board wants to have that discussion now. Do you want to incorporate this now, or?
I think we need to perhaps revisit that. And, I don't think that, because we're not going to get through all of this, I think.
Okay, so then we can
But
revisit.
we should definitely make a note of it and revisit it.
Okay, lawn maintenance stay the same. I know that Emerald Isles Landscaping, I'm sorry.
Look at,
We certainly did. That's what I said, Ray. We looked at lots of different management. Oh, okay.
We're getting a lot of services, right? We're getting a lot of services, though.
We did. We interviewed a number of many different management companies, and it wasn't easy because we were also putting in 8-hour days, and I'm not kidding, just trying to keep this place going because there was no one in the office, and we were trying to figure everything out on our own. There was no transition. I'm sorry, that's the truth. So we decided, it was our decision, and I stand by the decision, that we needed a full-time manager because we were pretty much about ready to go into Bellevue. That's what we decided to do. And I stand by that. Now again, if you want to look at it again down the road, that's another story. But I made that decision and I stand by it. And I'm sure Adrian does. If Helen were here, she'd probably say that too. And I'm sure Frank agrees. Yes, what I'm saying, we'll revisit it, but that's why it happened.
We voted for the board, and we stand.
Okay, so let's continue budget meeting. Lawn maintenance stayed the same. Earlier this year, the board decided to go back to a landscaper that used to be here previously, Emerald Isle Landscaping, so that stayed the same. Pest control, it went from 7,000 to 15,000. So the majority of that increase is beach environmental. Okay.
Is that like,
You can never have people in and
It's never.
The vendor that was here prior did not have that, he billed for that separately, and this company doesn't even do procurement, you'd have to bill for that separately. It never included tree trimming.
because the thing was pretty, right up on how that works.
It's a palm or a hardwood? It's a hardwood.
but I think I understand the budget is coming out, it's doing a 40,000. It's not about the budget, I'm just trying to understand. Yeah, and there was, that's what I'm saying, so like, okay. So, in total, 8 plus the 10, so that's now 15.
Hit it. No, I'm just kidding.
Years now. Whether that company did it or did it, it was done for 40,000. So now we've increased total lawn and trade by 10. I'm just trying to figure out.
It wasn't done for 40. When I got here in May, when we took over, I met with the landscaping company you had. That gentleman proposed $16,000 to do tree trimming. That's the lawn company you had. Tree trimming was not included in what you paid for monthly. In addition to that, you couldn't walk on your sidewalks because you kept walking into tree branches. The trees had not been trimmed for a moment. All right? So that's an additional fee. We went out and we got 4 other companies to bid on that. The best option was the $9,200 option, and they came in and took care of that. And no landscaping company does a contract and includes tree trimming.
That is correct. That is correct.
Going forward,
Because you're adding them together. Landscaping is landscaping, cutting the grass, trimming the hedges. For the trees, if you have anything hanging under 8 to 10 feet, typically a landscaper will include that as well. That's landscaping. Also, there may be sprinklers involved. That is your wet check each month. You guys do not have a sprinkler system. And when I spoke to that landscaper, he told me straight up, it's broken and nobody wanted to fix it. That's what he told me.
let's say last on the budget for tree trim.
Were the trees trimmed last year?
0.
This year.
No, last year.
I have, that's the, my balcony, I did not see past my balcony.
Do you look out in the meadow? Are you in the meadow?
And this tree,
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know where these receipts are for this, but I know it was done in this year. So I'm trying to understand why it was not in the budget last year. It was at $0, and now this year we're paying $1,000 for it.
Nicole,
Hold on a second, that Ray's speaking in the back.
oh,
That he's saying that they believe they paid $12,000 last year. Hold on, because Tony's on the call. Tony, so what was paid last year for the tree
I
trimming?
think it was around 12, and he did a hurricane cut. What was done this year was not a hurricane cut, it was a tree trim. It was very
Okay,
different.
so yeah, that's what Ray was saying. So Tony, Ray was saying that. So Tony did confirm there was around 12,000, and what they did was a hurricane cleanup, which is a separate cut than a regular tree trim cut, which is what was done this year. No, not this year. They did it last year. So Tony said the $12,000 for last year was the hurricane cut.
It's done once
You
a
didn't have a
year.
hurricane cut this year. What you had was just a regular tree trimming for $9,000, for $9,200. Okay, so ma'am, for your, there are different types of tree trimming, right? So a hurricane cleanup is they're basically taking everything inside of the tree for hurricane prep. So they reduce the canopy, because that's a different type of trimming too, which is a different expense. So I'm not gonna get into tree trimming here, but that's what we're trying to get at, and that's what the previous manager that's on the Zoom said. Last year, they paid $12,000 for a hurricane cleanup. That's not what was done this year. This year was just a regular tree trimming. So they would not have reduced the canopy. It's a one-time thing.
Every 2 days in
Tony, do you know about that? A constant tree getting cut every 2 to 3 weeks?
I'm sorry?
They're saying, hold on a second, hold on. Maureen, hold on a second, because I'm asking Tony. We have a resident here that's saying that there was a tree in front of her balcony that she faces the parking lot that was routinely cut every 2 to 3 weeks.
Not to my no.
And she's on the 4th floor.
I don't remember who that is. Who is it?
Who is she? What unit are, what building are you in? She's in Devon 403. And she
No,
said the
that
tree
was
outside her
done-
house
no,
was
that
routinely
was
cut
done-
every 2 to 3 weeks.
No, that was done every year for the hurricane, but they were hurricane cuts. They were not tree trimming. Because the tree trimming is a waste of money. You lose the trees.
Correct. All right, so we're not, I mean, we're getting off topic for the budget. But you can go take a look at the tree and see if there's something that needs to be done. No, it's not. No, the tree trimming, correct. It's always separate. Even Tony just verified that last year they paid $12,000 separately than the regular contract. Okay? All right, pest control. So beach environmental, about 9,000, and then all county rodent control is 6,000. So there is a rodent issue currently. Is it that previously you guys didn't have the 6,000 rodent control last year? Is that something new for this year?
Yeah, they,
They didn't have it last year.
but a couple of people.
Their units? Okay. So the 6,000 covers what?
They have, as well as their track if the had issues.
Okay.
And then we can follow up once a quarter with, to make sure.
Okay.
Just as a side note too, the trash chutes were identified as maybe a source of everything getting in. The trash chutes have been steam cleaned, and we did get a proposal for the repair for the openings that are in the trash chute that allows them access. That's being worked on.
Okay. So any questions regarding pest control going from 7,000 to 15,000?
And that's where I found it. That we get five from.
So the rodent issue, we anticipate that obviously by end of next year be resolved. Like Nikki said, they already started working on the trash chutes where they seem to has the entrance points for those items. Okay, elevator. You mentioned, Nikki, that this could be reduced. So
So instead of 600, back to 340.
340 times 12. So why is that? And why are we going back to motion?
We have a contract in, and rather than,
Contract on.
it's gonna keep going.
Okay, so, I put it down just 1 degree and it got freezing. I thought it was, I went in just a little bit, but no. Hold on a second. All right, so they had originally reached out to Nuva, which is a different elevator company, because we weren't getting a response from the current one regarding some of the issues that were happening. So their monthly would have been $600 a month. However, the contract with Motion Elevator, which was your prior vendor, renewed. So their rate is obviously less, which is at $340 a month. So that expense went down from $15,000 down to $4,080.
Have to watch
We
the
get the
period.
accurate-
It's $340. It's only $340 a month. It's not per elevator or anything. It's a total cost. Okay. $4,080.
Service, yes,
The repairs would be under repairs and maintenance. I just made the change. I'll send you the stuff. Yeah, so 5,000 went down to 4,080. No, it's just the service contract. Roof maintenance. So this was a major topic, right? So it was brought down to 0 with the intention that the roof would be